Galair, and welcome to the Loaf of Bread GAA podcast, slicing into the GAA of the past, present and future. Join me, Jason Keelan, as we cut into the largest loaf of bread known to mankind.
Hello, Diegwich, bonjour, ni hao, konnichiwa, guten tag and privyet to you all wherever you're listening in. What started as a message to 10 clubs has now expanded to more than 50 clubs globally from all continents. The journey through Loaf 2 GAA Global continues this week as we move on to our next destination in the GAA world. So come with me on the GAA journey of a lifetime and meet clubs from Canada to Argentina, South Africa to Gibraltar, Bermuda to the North Pole, New Zealand to Kuwait, Knoxville to Qatar, and literally everywhere in between. So grab the passports, grab the bags, it's time to go.
On Slice 23, I'm back in the USA as I go from the Middle East heat to the Florida heat and hit up Jimmy from Ceathru Rua in County Galway and find out all about life in Orlando GAA. We chat all about the incredible GAA crest the club has featuring Disney and Harry Potter, his time at Donegal Boston GAA, having Tipp captain from 1983 Liam Bergin at the club, his sculpting work within Disney and theme parks, the club being on TG Cahir and more Irish media, the famous Phoung at the club and the two Johnnies, celebrating halfway to St. Patrick's Day, Puerto Rican goalkeepers, marking Padraig Joyce, GAA life back home in Galway versus Orlando, club rivalries and key issues like Disney or Universal, NSYNC or Boyzone and much more. And is there a chance of Oughterard GAA versus Orlando GAA? But first as usual, let's take a trip to Orlando in Florida and hop on the roller coaster. Let's meet Jimmy and find out all about life in the GAA in Old Town.
There's nothing like being here on a sunny day.
Orlando, the city beautiful, Old Town. Whatever you want to call this wonderment, it is truly one of the iconic names of the world. Located in Orange County, Florida, on the US southeast, this city of 2 million people or so usually draws in more than 40 times that in an average tourist year. Originally, the area was known as Fort Gatlin, named after the army worker John Gatlin, who died in 1835. The region was picked due to its strategic location. Simply, it was easy to defend. After that, the city became known as Jernigan, after the first settlers, Isaac and Aaron David Jernigan, from Georgia. Aaron would be the state's first political representative. Where the name Orlando comes from is a matter of mystery. Many stories exist, ranging from victims of the Seminole War, to local legends, to burial graves bearing the name Orlando, and even a possible Shakespeare character. It was in 1965 that a certain man named Walter Elias Disney announced plans to build Walt Disney World in the Orlando area. They picked here over Tampa and Miami and others, due to the threat of hurricanes not being an issue in the more inland Orlando. When it opened in 1971, it caused the tourism explosion that you see today. With more theme parks than any other city on earth, Orlando is truly the capital of fun in many ways. But Orlando still manages to maintain the historical Old Orlando in areas between Orange Avenue and Garland Avenue. Downtown Orlando has many skyscrapers which don't have roller coasters attached to them. The city also boasts a huge technology industry, and more than 50,000 people are employed in the sector. For those who like their shopping too, the outlets in Orlando are widely known to be some of the best in the world, and I definitely agree with that. Famous names from the city include the boys from NSYNC, Old Town and Backstreet Boys, wrestlers Braun Strowman, Brian Kendrick, Naomi, Billy Gunn and Alexa Bliss, and actors Wesley Snipes and Rachel York. On the sporting side, Bay Hill Lodge is well known to those of us who are golf fans, and it hosts the Arnold Palmer Invitational annually, with Arnie being an Orlando native himself. Orlando Magic in the NBA and Orlando City in soccer provide the two professional teams in the city, with many minor teams also such as Orlando Anarchy Women's Soccer and the Orlando Solar Bears ice hockey team. The city also has an extensive list of famous names from the area in different sporting fields. Ken Griffey Jr., one of the greatest baseball players of all time, hails from the city. Of course, he also has the feat of appearing in the Simpsons baseball episode with a gigantic head.
Dr. Hibbert, Ken Griffey Jr. needs to see you immediately. We think it's an overdose of nerve tonic.
Good Lord. Gigantism.
Basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal and golfers Tiger Woods and Mark O'Meara also come from Orlando. In soccer, the clubs have boasted some strong names in the past few years, such as Kaká, Nani, Alex Morgan and women's legend Martha, but Disney and Universal is where it's at for Orlando. Walt Disney himself was born in 1901 in Chicago, and today still holds many records, including an insane 22 Oscars as producer. It was with brother Roy that he set up Disney Studios, and in 1928 Mickey Mouse was born. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937 was his full first Technicolor piece. He opened Disneyland in Anaheim, California in '55, before the Disney World a decade later. In Disney World was another of his ideas, experimental prototype City of Tomorrow, better known today as Epcot. Sadly, his death came in late 1966 due to lung cancer from smoking, meaning he never saw the completion of his works. The Disney family story begins not in Orlando or California, but in the hurling stronghold of Kilkenny. Arundel Elias Disney was born near Freshford in the county. His firstborn son, Keppel Disney, would be Walt's grandfather. He would marry Mary Richardson, and in 1859 their son, Elias, was born, and would eventually become father to the great Walt. Whether Walt Disney had the same hurling ability as the likes of Walter Walsh is unknown. Safe to say both Walters have experiences of roller coasters in different ways, on and off a pitch. Many historians also suggest an even further lineage pre-Kilkenny times back to good old Galway, which will surely make Orlando GAA man Jimmy very happy. And so since we're talking about him, let's meet the man himself. So here's the man from Ceathru Rua and the Galway Gaeltacht, Jimmy, as he tells us all about the crack in Orlando GAA. Jimmy, how's the crack?
How's it going, man?
Not a bother, how are things?
Good. Just living the dream.
Yeah, I'd say that, yeah. How's living the dream in the car, is it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. A little bit of cooling down a little bit. It's about 30 degrees Celsius outside, so I'm going to live the dream right here.
I'd love to say I feel sorry for you, but to be honest, I couldn't give a fuck, to be honest. It's like
I'm sure you don't.
It's about 3 degrees here at the moment. It's been pissing rain all morning, so it's
Jesus.
Beautiful, you know yourself, yeah. What jersey have you on you there?
That's the Orlando GAA jersey, yeah.
Oh, good man, fair play to you, yes. I was going to say the crest looked like Armagh from here, but it's obviously not.
Yeah, no, it actually has a little bit of the Disney World castle with the Gaelic football, and then underneath it's a hurl with the schlitter, but the schlitter has 2 little wings on it, and that kind of brings in if anyone's familiar with the Harry Potter thing, it's a Quidditch thing, so it's a little play on Orlando, you know.
That's class. That's the second club now today I've chatted to, and it's 2 of the most unique logos ever, because I had the boys from Shunde Gales in China, the smallest club in the world.
Oh, very cool.
They're from the little village where Bruce Lee was born, so their crest is Bruce Lee kicking the Celtic cross, which is pretty amazing. So
very cool, yeah.
I'll have to get a look at the Orlando one after. But what brought you out there? Where are you from originally? Or
I'm from Connemara, so in Ceathru Rua, out the Gaeltacht in Galway.
Oh, I spent a few weeks out there before. I know it well.
Very good, yeah. So I came out in 2001 actually, but I came to Boston, and I played football up there for a little while with Donegal, and then I came to Florida then about 13 years ago, and I'm a sculptor, so we build a lot for the theme parks and a few cruise ships and stuff like that.
No way. You're like sculpt. Yeah. What do you sculpt exactly? Or
most of the stuff out of foam first, and then we build molds and then fiberglass parts. So like anything from a big statue of Buzz Lightyear to a King Kong skeleton or whatever.
When you said you were living the dream, I didn't realize you were actually living the dream.
No, it's not all that sometimes, to be honest.
I know what you mean. Yes. And how did you leave Ceathru Rua to end up out there? What brought you out? Or
I used to do a bit of fiberglass back there, and the old fella passed in 2001, so I just said I'd give it a shot out here then. So I went to Boston. My mother's actually from Boston originally, so we kind of all returned back there, and now I have 2 sisters up there, and my brother's actually works with the Disney Cruise Lines down here, so I visited him one day and decided Florida was the place to be, you know.
Yeah, that's class. No, we sailed past the Disney cruise and all right, we went to the Caribbean years ago. We went from
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Orlando out
Mm.
to Fort Lauderdale, then out to Puerto Rico, and then got on there. But we went past the Disney one. I know it. I have
Oh,
a
yeah.
fair idea what it looks like anyway. But that's so
Yeah.
you managed to leave T Josie's and end up in Orlando.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, God,
That's funny.
I love T Josie's. I got a lift from T Josie's up to the nightclub in Carrow, which is about 200 meters, I'd say. But I got a lift off. I got a lift off a man called Des Bishop, who you might know. He,
I don't actually know.
oh,
He
comedian,
might have been
comedian over
visiting.
here, American comedian
Yeah.
actually, who went living in Carrow for a while. So
Oh, really?
to learn
Yeah.
Irish, yeah. He was the man who gave me the lift up the road, which is a bit bizarre, but sure, look. And
No kidding, huh?
yeah, you guys have been getting a mention the last few days on the two Johnnies as well. Have you picked up on it?
We did. Yeah.
And
Yeah, we saw
who's the man
that.
behind
Yeah.
that?
Actually, we had a bit of a sevens tournament, and it's actually a lad that was he came up from South Florida to play with us. Just because we kind of kept going during the COVID, and it's not knock on anyone that gave everything up, but Florida was very lenient when it came to COVID. Like, so we kept going. Everybody was getting tested and everything, and as long as you had a negative test, like, we kept training and kept going. So we had a bit of a sevens tournament there, and a few lads from Tampa GA and a few lads from South Florida came up and played. Like, so he gave in the shout then to the two Johnnies. But yeah, we've been getting a bit of coverage back there. I know just because there's another fella from Macarrow with me here as well, Thomas Griffin, and we the Connacht Tribune did a little bit, and then the
Right.
Galway Bay FM did a bit, and then TG4 called me because we had the Irish, so I did a bit on that. Like, so been gaining a bit of traction, and it's helped us a lot, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
with recruiting and with chatting with different people.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah. And what's your membership numbers like, or what's the turnout like at the moment?
Yeah, so at our sevens, which is our own thing, we had 33 of our own hurlers there,
Wow.
believe it or not, which
Jeez.
was crazy because when I joined in October, the Orlando GAA, those, they'd be getting between 6 and 8, and
Yeah.
so then we just kind of just been pushing it and promoting it and recruiting, and we've been building more on community, so it's a nice way for some Irish folks to get together that didn't even know. We didn't know half our neighbours are Irish, so it's been nice to get everyone together. And so there's a few lads that have come out of retirement, and then a few younger lads that just didn't know it was here. So and it's been growing every week, like, so I don't think we've even peaked yet, like, so it's been a great year.
Jeez, that's class, yeah. And is there much of a local uptake on it then, or are you just bringing in Carrow lads from Galway just to fill the team? Or?
No, there's definitely, we have a few lads. So myself and the Thomas lad, we work with one of the CAD designers there, lad, and
Right.
he's his name, funny enough, is Chris Brown, just a CAD designer. We brought him down, like, and but he ran track in school, sprinter, and played basketball, so he picked it up fairly quickly. He did a bit of lacrosse as well, so he was good. Good. He picked up the hurling right away. But we do Gaelic football and hurling, because obviously in Carrow we'd have no hurling at all. Like,
Yeah,
so
no,
I never even picked up a hurl, to be honest with you, until last year. Like, first time ever. We never even swung one in school. Like, some of the schools would do a bit, but we did nothing at all in Carrow. So we'd be football, but most of the lads over here would have played a bit of hurling. So we just kind of focused on whatever anybody wanted to do, and hurling was the main focus. So we went with that, and we just have a lot to catch up to do. But we've got one lad. We got one lad on the team, Liam Bergin, and he actually captained Tipperary back in 1983. Believe it or not.
Wow.
And he's still flying. Like, and I mean, when I say he's flying, he's still flying. So we've had a few matches. One of our main, I'd say, even though it's a new rivalry because they're a brand new club, would be Savannah in Georgia. So we played them home and we played them away. Like, but Bergen was the top scorer in both of those. Like, so he's literally flying.
Wow, that's class. Yeah, I had Niall from Dublin, from Bluffton, South Carolina, was on with me, and he mentioned Savannah as well. They seem to be a good team to play against as well.
Very good, because since they're new and they've got a really good board, they're happy to travel and they're happy to host. And I mean, when they host, like, they go all out. So it's you go up there for a challenge match and you might be on 5 acres of land and a big fish fry, just set up by them, and that's it. Like, it's very, very good, very well set up, and the folks there are very nice people as well. Like, so it's good, yeah.
Yeah, so I believe it's one part of America I haven't been to yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to going to it. When you say about like they've a 5 acres, what's your home pitch situation? Are you renting off places, or have you been lucky enough to get somewhere?
Yeah, so we're lucky enough to have a lad who works with the county parks on our team. He plays hurling with us, so he's a good lad to have, so yeah, we just rent a place. But with the USGA insurance and everything, the pitches it might be like $10 an hour or $15 an hour, like, so it's very handy, very, very handy.
Geez, that's all right, Chet. You're not. It's handy having a Healy, Rafe, and Kerry on your team, isn't it? Who knows the council? So
it's exactly right. Yeah, funny enough. Yeah,
very, very handy having one of them. Yes. And have you got a local pub like most clubs around the world seem to have, an Irish pub?
Yeah, we do. Do you know? There's a lot of Irish pubs, and we were lucky enough. We have a dance class over here, Finnegan Academy for Irish Dance, and they sponsored the jerseys and everything, and they sponsored a few posters and all stuff like that. And she'll show up with waters at games and stuff. So we haven't really needed much of sponsorship wise off of pubs or anything like that. So what we've been doing is we've kind of been traveling to the pubs, So we'll set up a game close enough to like a Fiddler's Green or something like that, and bring everyone there afterwards. Like, but it seems like a few of the pubs want to connect, But we're just happy to spread it around for now. I think eventually we'll team up with someone and make it a home base, But as of right now, we're just traveling around. For example, on September 18th, so that's a big thing over here because it's halfway to St. Patrick's Day, So they actually celebrate that as well.
Wow. I can see that becoming an event over here, though, after you mentioned that.
Eventually,
right? Bank holiday on September 18th.
Yeah. So the plan is there's a lad from Dublin here. He's got a lovely resort. It's called Balmoral Resort. And he actually has probably one of the better pitches in Central Florida, actually, on his resort, So we're thinking of he's thinking of having a halfway to St. Patrick's Day event himself. And we were chatting. I'm actually going to meet him in about 20 minutes here or a half hour, and he was thinking of having some GA on the fields, right beside his pub and everything. So that'll be a great day. I think that'll be very big actually if he goes, if he pushes it well enough. Like, so I think that'll be great. Yeah.
Yeah, two of the most Irish things I've ever heard: setting up a game or a tournament near a pub and celebrating halfway to St. Patrick's Day.
Halfway.
I don't think I've heard much more Irish things ever in the last 30 or so chats I've done at this stage. So, and what's a good celebration like with the GA crowd?
Geez, it's great, to be honest. Yeah, that's one of the better things after everything we've done. Like, every night we had out has been great. Like, because we have a lot of musicians on the team as well. Like, so it turns into a big session, and it reminds us, like, the Cumhor to Spella back home. Like, some of these games we have, it's the nightlife is just like that, which is unreal,
Yeah, were you involved much in the like Cumhortas, Gaeltacht there, any of those when you were at home, or what was your career like?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I played some junior and a little bit of senior before I left, but yeah, I went to a few Cumhor Spella. I remember when it was in Carrow, I was a little young that time, but it was great. Back in Lettermore, that was one of the better ones I've been to, but I've been down to Kerry and stuff. Yeah, it was the Cumhor Spella was like our Super Bowls back there. It was great,
Yeah. Would you have been playing with Carrow in like 2008 or 9?
No, I left in 01, sure. So
you left in 01. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So 98, 99, 2000. I was playing those 3 years. Fairly good. I played all the underage, but then in 98 and 99, I played a bit of junior and a little bit of senior. So
yeah, good time to play McCall around 98 as well. In fairness, around that year.
It was fun times. Yeah. And I don't remember exactly. Was it 96 or something that Carrow actually won the club county, so that was a big one as well. Like, so yeah, I think it was the last time they won it as well. So
right, yeah, because I know we were down there in 08, or I was down there for a good few weeks, and the lads went training with the team, and I stood happily in the sideline because I was like, no, I'm grand, thanks. But it was a serious experience. They're a great place to take in people, like 5 minutes in, and you're like, yeah, come on down, we'll take you in, and your best friends the next day. Like, it's that's
exactly right. Yeah.
Is it the same sense over there with the Americans as well?
Definitely, yeah. Especially this crowd, yeah. It's and that's been kind of like what we were harping on, is we've had like total beginner days, and we might get like 15 brand new people, but our main thing is like we're trying to get some of the lacrosse people and stuff on. Yeah, it's very welcoming. Everybody, I mean, not one person has left without really enjoying it. And nobody's come to one training and not come to another, if you know what I mean. Like, everyone has come back, so there's nobody that said, Jesus, no thank you. And we've been getting a little more serious, you know, as we go on. So the lad from Carrow, the other lad from Carrow, he's taken over the training part of it. And he's getting a little more, because he was training underage and women's before he left back home, actually.
Right.
So he's running them a little harder and stuff. But then, for example, last Sunday, then we just said, so after Mother's Day, so we had last Sunday, we just had a big beach day. So I've never seen as many hurls on Cocoa Beach, you know, but it was a great day. And then we went to Nolan's Irish Pub then over in Cocoa Beach. And the Byrne brothers from Ireland as well, actually, they were playing music. So it was a great day and evening, and everybody loved it. Like, that's the thing, you know, we mix, you know, the families into it, and then get as serious as we possibly can then with the hurling and the football. So it's a good mix, you know.
Yeah, sounds class. Yeah. Have you managed to introduce any of the locals to like the Sunday game and Marty and Des and all them? Or
yeah, definitely. So a lot of us will get together, actually. Funny enough, it's a British cafe that we got together for one of the championship games. But wherever you can get the Irish sausages, we'll go there. You know, whether it's British, Irish, but doesn't bother us. You know, if you can get the fry, we're there. Like, so we got together for a few of the championship games. You know, especially if Galway's playing, we'll push it. You know.
Yeah, that's so good. But have any Westmeath lads on the panel, or?
No, do you know we did, and he just headed down to Cancun for himself. So,
of course he did.
Yeah, funny enough, good for him, right? But no, a good lad. So we've it's a big mix all over the place. But our only Westmeath lad now, he's headed down to Cancun for himself.
You don't remember his name, do you?
Lamb was his last name, so I think it's Stephen Lamb. Yeah.
Okay, no. I always ask everyone is there any Westmeath knocking around, because there's usually a Westmeath bollock somewhere in the middle of everything. So
he was a bollocks at least. So
he was a bollocks at least. Yeah. If he's listening, so he'll pick up on that. He'll be back up from Cancun quicker than you think now. So
he will.
What's the rivalries like with the other clubs in Florida?
With Tampa now, it'd be a good rivalry. So because all the lads would have, you know, over here, unless it's going to nationals, you can kind of team up a little bit for the smaller tournaments, you know, as long as you're registered with USGA. So a lot of the lads would have played together and stuff. And on June 6th now, it'll be our first match since we've become involved with Orlando. So it's for me, that's like Carrow, Lettermore, you know, on steroids. So we're ready to go, you know.
And do you remember your first experience of, well, it could be Ceathru Rua versus Litchermore type thing? Do you remember your debut for Orlando?
Definitely, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. It was great, because to be honest with you, so I'm 41 now, like, and I hadn't played since I was up in Boston years ago.
You don't look a bit of it.
Thank you. It was fantastic. It was really a great experience, actually. Yeah, and we lost the hurling by a point in that one, and we won the football fairly handy. So it was a great day all in all, you know. But the one thing I say about this is, like, as long as everything keeps competitive, you know, and no team is walking away with it, everyone stays interested. They train harder, recruit more, you know. So it's very good to have these tight games, you know. So it was great, like, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have you've plenty to choose from, but do you have a traditional Irish lunatic on or off the pitch? Every club has one somewhere. So,
fuck, I hate to say it's me, but probably could be me. You know? I really hate to say it is, but I'd say the rest of the team would say it's me, and then I'd say probably it could be Ched Fox, another Tipperary lad. That's my
name.
Opinion,
like Fox, he has to be from Tipp, doesn't he?
Yeah. Another veteran from Tipp. We've quite a few actually from Tipp there, so it's handy. It's like they were born with the hurl, you know, so it's very handy for us. Like.
Yeah, and you let them in even though they're from Tipp. That's soundy.
We do. We didn't in the beginning, you know, but then we're like, geez, we need the numbers, like, so. And then once we saw Liam Bergin running around like an 18-year-old, we're like, geez, you have to let them in, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. What nominates yourself as the lunatic? Have you a history of red cards or broken legs or?
Gee, there wasn't many cards. I was sent off a few times. All right, but I have a lot of weight. I'll put it that way, and I can throw it around. So
right.
That's the nicest way to put it, you know.
You don't look like a man who's unless it's pure muscle now. I don't see where it is. So.
You can only see my head up, like so.
Fair enough.
We're sound, yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Go-
So yeah.
Go on the Facebook page and you'll see a few pictures and you know exactly why I might be considered the lunatic, you know.
Okay, I'll have to look that one up afterwards. So, is there on a night out then? I ask all the clubs in Orlando have a karaoke song of choice, or where do the musicians come in?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I don't know is the name of the song La Bamba. Is that the name of the song? Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what I would call it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So our goalkeeper is Albert Melendez. He's Puerto Rican and he can rock La Bamba. Yeah, because we were up in Savannah now and they were singing all these Irish tunes and you know all these immigrant songs and it was great and our lad Justin Kelly, he'd be our kind of hurling leader, you know, he was like, geez, lads, this is embarrassing, you know. Do we have a limerick or a poem or something, you know? So Bergin, he piped out a song, a Garth Brooks song, and then your man rocked the place. And I mean, when he rocked the place, the keeper with La Bamba, he rocked the place. So yeah, that's our go-to, you know. We call him out whenever we can, you know.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Have you many other nationalities on it? I don't know if Puerto Rico still like to claim themselves, I suppose, not Americans. So.
Yeah, no. We have another lad, Jason Wong. You know, it sounds. It doesn't sound Jamaican, but he has a Chinese descent as well. But he's a Jamaican lad, and yeah, we have a good mix. To be honest with you, Phoung then is the one you heard about.
Oh yeah, I have to ask about Phoung. Tell us about Phoung.
Yeah. So Phoung is amazing. We don't have a camogie team yet, but over here, as long as it's challenges and stuff, we can play a bit of co-ed, like, but once it's a USGA thing, we can't, like. But so for now, she's just holding her own with the men. But yeah, so Phoung, that's her name. It's Phoung, not quite like Paddy Phoung, but yeah, she's amazing. She picked it up, I believe, in Atlanta, and she came down to Florida then, and she just looked around online and found the club, but she's a beast on the field, men or women. She could definitely hold her own, like, and it would be then a Chinese descent, but she's American as you get, like, so yeah, she's a tough one, a great player. Yeah, we're lucky to have her.
And is it like would she drink pints, you know, she would if she got it kind of person, or
she would if she got it? Now, to be honest with you, you know, she would if she got it. Yeah, we had a great time up in Savannah, and that city was like a big for us, it was like building the camaraderie and stuff. You know, it was a good team builder, the match up there, and yeah, to be honest, the whole team would if they got it.
So it sounds like a proper team. So yeah, who would be mightn't necessarily be the local rivals. Who's the toughest team you've come up against? Now, this could be for Orlando or back in the Ceathru days.
Oh, back in the Ceathru days, Jesus. Well, for me, the Mehans were very fast when I was playing, like, so it was tough going up against those boys. But I would be Lettermore, our biggest rival, and I remember playing under 10s. We beat them 10-9 to no score, and I'm like, Jesus if we keep this going now for the rest of our lives, everything will be sound. By the time I was 16, 17, there was a point in it, and then when I left, you know, Lettermore started beating Carrow in a few of the championship matches and stuff. So how the tables have turned, or whatever they say, the turns of tables, you know.
Yeah.
But
what about
I'd say that would be. Out here, geez, even though we haven't played them with me on the team yet, it would definitely be Tampa, you know, because they're so close, and everyone is so close together, and we know them very well. Like, so, even at the sevens, there's another lad from Galway, from St. James, and he plays over there with them. Like, so the Galway connection is there. So it's definitely we've banged each other a few times at kind of mixed trainings, and he came over and played our sevens then. Luckily, he was on my team, so he made it home safe. But yeah, that would be it. So June 6th now is going to be a big one. I'll definitely email you there and let you know how it went.
Oh, definitely. I noticed the amount of teams that have now signed up to come on to this with word of mouth and stuff. It was 10, it's now 50.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I don't know where Orlando is on the list, but definitely I've been kind of throwing out updates in some of the clubs. So definitely June the 6th.
Lovely,
let us know how it's going.
Definitely.
I definitely I have the boys the far side of the world in China. There's a tournament on in China this weekend, and then Brooklyn Shamrocks are in their first ever final, and my mate in Moscow won the Russian All-Ireland champions, if you want to call it that. So
really, isn't it great though? It's great, you know, that it's kept going, because I've started following now, because I took over the PRO for the club, so I took over the Facebook, and I've started following everybody, and like, everywhere from the Costa Gales over there in Spain to everywhere. It's amazing. Like, and there's a tournament now up in Greenville. We weren't prepared to go to it, but it's this Sunday. Like, and all the lads you two would have talked to, I think the Bluffton boys and them, they're all going to, like, but it's well organized, well set up. And then our big one will be so the June 6th against the boys, but then there's a Peach Cup in Atlanta, that's a sevens tournament, but it's fairly serious tournament as far as the Southeast goes. That's probably the biggest tournament, I think, in this area. Like, so it's like I said, it's a sevens, but they have sevens Gaelic football, sevens hurling, sevens ladies football, and sevens camogie. Like, so it's a good, huge run tournament. So it'll be very good.
I must keep an eye out for that. So I'll definitely check that out. It is mad, kind of, I suppose, like you were saying, the clubs that I've uncovered I didn't know exist, on Instagram the other week, like, I had the lads from Bermuda GAA on. Now, I was out in Bermuda a couple of times. My sister-in-law founded the club kind of back in the day, and they disbanded, and now they're back again, and they started like a Twitter or an Instagram row, almost a good GAA row with the lads in.
I saw it up in
Lulea.
When you chatted about them, I actually got onto them as well. Like, so we'll definitely do something with them in the future. Like, it's class.
Yeah, that'd be class. Yeah, I'll have to sponsor the tournament or something. No, I'll have to get involved in it somehow, or good excuse to go back out to Florida. So,
did you ever expect the loaf of bread to take off as quick or as good as it has?
No, it was like, it's kind of born out of a few things, like my love of history and writing history books for schools, and my love of the sport and GAA in general, and. It was a speech from Paddy that started it off, and I expected it to be interviewing, my brother plays with a club in here, Rocher Bridge, and interviewing the local lads and maybe a few of the girls. And sure, like, the first episode I had was the 2004 Westmeath captain under Paddy, and it just, I've interviewed people who've won more medals than hot dinners, like, so. And then Tipp, I suppose the crown and jewel was getting Johnny Doyle to come on, which, one of my idols. So. And I work, and I'd love to. My other idols, I suppose, are Galway men as such. So Jeff Fallon and Michael Donnan now will be the pairing I would love to bring on together if we ever came to it. So, but this
you might have to start with our boys, with the Sean O'Dupere and Sean O'Donnell. Do you remember those lads? They played as well.
Yeah, with Sean O'Dupere, I bought his book when I was in the Gaeltacht, and he signed it when I was there. So there you go. Lovely gentleman, an absolute gentleman.
Sound men, the whole family sound. And then Sean O'Donnell, then he's with the Carrow Fire Department now, actually. Yeah.
He was there as well. Yeah, he turned up. Yeah, they all made appearances at some point. So, the international one is exploded. Like, it was just an idea, because I've been lucky, like, to travel to 100 odd countries or whatever, and it was just I said, might give them a bit of publicity, something different. It's never been done in the GAA before. I said, and you go to Croke Park outside the museum, you see all the badges, and like, no one really knows anything about them. And I was just like, maybe we get a bit out there. And one email turned into 10, has now turned into 50 clubs, and it'll run till Christmas.
Great,
So
it's
great. It's you guys coming on, like, to make it, I suppose. So now while you're here, I have to test your homework and see if you've done your homework out there as well. But have you introduced the Americans to Father Ted?
I have, but this is going to sound very sad. I'm not a huge fan of it. The other Carrow lad cannot stand it. I'd say that, but you know what? I loved it all, but I couldn't stand Mrs. Doyle, so I have introduced them though, and they love it.
Yeah, you've done your homework. You've done all you can. That's the main thing. So
exactly.
If you were to bring Orlando over to Ireland, who would you most like a shot at? Which county?
Jesus. I'd say, after talking to the lads, I wouldn't even go county. After talking to the lads in Oughterard, I'd love to go after them.
Oh, I'll tell Hanley and Eddie. So and then Paddy.
After listening to you talking to them,
I'll have to tell them. So I'll text Hanley after this and let him know that there's a fight. There's a fight ready to go from Orlando. So
bring them back down to earth. Yeah,
I was going to say he'll be on the plane straight out. That's the problem. You won't get rid of him then. So
that's the hope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's all right. He's a good footballer. If he's listening, I don't want to big him up too much. His head is big enough as well.
No.
Yeah. What else I got to ask you? If you had to choose between the famous GAA choice of hats, flags, scarves, or headbands, which one are you picking?
Scarves
all day. Yeah. Not even thinking about it. She's scarf man all day.
No need to think about that. Yeah.
You're the first scarf person I've met, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Orlando,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, I suppose put you on the spot slightly before the last few quickfire questions. Then, your lifetime, the greatest GA player that you've seen or watched online or anything.
Geez, I'd say it would have to be Donlan, to be honest with you, that I've seen. I've seen him in person and on TV.
Yeah.
He's something else. Like.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Yeah, I'm still hoping that there's a Padraig Joyce, Jeff Allen, Michael Donlan trio podcast in there somewhere. I reckon.
Yeah, I
sorry.
marked Padraig Joyce one time before I came over, actually, in the challenge, so that was fun. Huh?
I'll go on. Tell us about that. So go on. You have to tell us now.
He scored a lot, but a lot of them were frees.
I kept him scoreless from play. That's the main thing.
Almost, not quite, but almost. I did well. In my own opinion, I did well. I blocked one anyway, so I was happy with the day. And I'd have to. Also, I'm just going to say with the hurling, the Joe Canning is something else to watch. So it would be Donlan and Canning would be my two there. If I could put in two.
It seems like it's only been around since yesterday, but this is his 14th season. I think this is outrageous. So, yeah, I know. In fairness to him, you can't keep class down, as they say. I have to ask a couple of quickfire questions that are specialised. Every club gets specialised ones for their locality. Okay. So,
all right,
they're as stupid as you'll get, but sure, look, they're all a bit of crack.
I'm ready.
So, yeah,
I'm ready. Yeah.
Let me see where I start. You can choose between Orlando's finest boy band NSYNC or Ireland's great boy band Boyzone.
Geez, I'll go NSYNC.
Good choice, yeah. Now you are of the Boyzone generation as well, same as I am. So
I know.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Enough said, exactly. Just not a fan of Ronan Keating, I'm afraid. This is the perfect question to ask actually, since your job revolves around it. But the first question I was going to ask for the crack I knew was, you choose between Disney or Universal?
Disney every single day of the week, yeah.
Really? Why? Is there something?
So all the rides, I'd say, be better at Universal and all that. But as far as theme parks goes, there's something about Disney World when you walk in, even as an adult, and the music and everything, the goosebumps. That's a genuine theme park, and I would choose it every day of the week as an adult or a child.
That's a good one. Yeah, so I was at the one in the West Coast, over wherever, California. I was at the one
Disneyland.
Yeah, I was in Paris as well, but they're a waste of time on me. I don't go on anything. I'm afraid of heights. I'm afraid of road. I'm afraid of fucking everything. So I just wander around, just looking at stuff. That's all I do. So it's good to hear that. Good to hear another person's opinion of it. So
yeah, there you go.
The other one then is also, or a couple of the other ones. The next one is also a music one, and it's kind of similar on the NSYNC one. So Orlando's other finest band, the Backstreet Boys, or Ireland's other great stars, Westlife.
Backstreet Boys as well. Yeah.
Yeah, good choice. Yeah. Now my wife will shoot me for saying that, but anyway. The outlets in Orlando or the outlets in Kildare Village?
That's a tough one. Orlando.
Yeah, I'd be agreeing with you on that one. Yeah, it's fucking cheaper out there anyway.
Yeah, there's a reason that everyone flocks to those. Every Irish person that I know flocks to those outlets and heads home. So the Orlando ones, yeah.
Oh, I had a field day in those outlets. Jesus, I nearly lost my life out there. So yeah.
Oh, we still do, yeah.
Yeah, you still do, yeah. The second last one then is Orlando's greatest actor, Wesley Snipes, or Ireland's finest, Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, okay, interesting choice. Yeah.
Big fan.
And the last one then I have to ask is Orlando GAA or Galway GAA?
Well, I'm past my prime, so Orlando GAA, of course, I have to say no, yeah, absolutely.
Home will always be home, though, as they say, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh no, if you said Carrow, it would be a tricky one, but you said Galway. So
okay, Orlando GAA or Carrow GAA?
Orlando.
I love it. Straight in. Oh, it'll be a tricky one if you ask me that. Yeah, straight in Orlando. No thinking about it. Yeah. The last little bit of asking and just try and give all the clubs a bit of promotion and stuff. The jersey, can people buy it online anywhere, or just there's probably a lot of Irish people who like to buy random jerseys, like myself, I suppose. So. Yeah,
they can. It's a Mesita actually, and you can buy it just Orlando GAA. Yeah, and again, I'll send you a picture of the crest too, because it's a very interesting one. You'll get enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, I'll definitely stick it up. Yes, and then last thing, I suppose, is there anyone back home or anywhere else in the world apart from the Irish lad in Cancun that you want to say hello to, or tell them to feck off, whichever you want?
Geez, besides telling the Tampa boys we're coming, not really. I've said enough,
You've said enough.
I'll say hello to actually Thomas's mother and sister back there, so Diane and Fiona. So he's been out here 4 or 5 years, and they usually visit a lot. He usually visit back, but with the pandemic and stuff, they haven't seen him a bit. So I'll give them a shout out. I see everyone because they're all over here, so I don't need to say anything.
You brought them all with you, see, that's the difference, yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly, yeah.
the last one, actually, I just see it on my list. I'll ask you for the cracks, since you're a good Irishman, a good GA man. Marty Morrissey or Des Cahill?
Oh, Des, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
You're the first person I think that's come straight out and gone Des. Most people are Marty. Yeah, the Marty party is dominating these days, yeah.
But no more than Father Ted. Like I'm cut out of a different mold or something, because can't stand Father Ted and Marty, who's a little rubbed me the wrong way a little bit.
Right.
So
Okay.
Des. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll chalk off one for Des, so, because that's the first he's got in a little while now. So that's good. Yeah.
Tell him to give me a shout and pay me back somehow.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll come out and he'll run some fundraiser or something for you out there, I'm sure. So
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy, look, I'm going to let you go. I'll let you get out of the heat of the car.
Perfect.
And it's been a pleasure talking to you. And I'll keep in touch. I'll let you know when this is going out down the line eventually. And I'll try and plug the jersey and stuff for you as well over here. If I can.
No bother. Yeah, thanks so much. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
good chatting with you.
Yeah, keep in touch, all right? I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, definitely will. Take care. Good luck.
All right, Slán, good luck.
Bye.
Coming up the next day on the Loaf of Bread GAA Global, we cut into our next slice.
I'll give you the short version of the no version. Again, my teammates have heard all my story. I actually played against Pat Spillane in New York's Gaelic Park in 1982.
Oh, you've got to tell us that one. Go on. People are going to love that one.
That's a good one.
Quick one. So I'm 21. I'm playing for Donegal. I'm the half forward for the Donegal New York team. Like all McNeil's in our draw, only played forward my whole life. In the locker room, a half hour before we're about to play Derry, not Kerry, but Derry, the manager comes to me and says, "Patrick, we need you to play halfback today." And I said, "What the hell? I don't know anything about halfback. Why?" He said, "Did you hear who Derry has brought over for the weekend to play against us?" I said, "Don't haven't a clue." Pat Spillane is playing half forward for Derry today. You're the quickest guy on the team. We need you to mark him. So, of course, I urinated in my pants, changed my shorts, and then got ready to go back out. And sure enough, I go into the unfamiliar halfback line, and there's his orangey yellow mop of hair in 1982. Come towards him when our warm-ups are over, shakes my hand, he hears my accent, he asks my story. Couldn't be more gentlemanly, Jason.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this won't be so bad.
Find out how that Pat Spillane story ends and much more on Slice 24 next time out. I say big thanks to Jimmy in Orlando, and I don't have too far to travel this time as I head up the east coast to New Jersey and meet the gang at the wonderful Jersey Shore GAA. For many, you might not expect to be chatting GAA with the home of some of the most iconic reality show characters ever, but here we are. I chat with 3 New Jersey men with serious Irish links. Matthew, Patrick and Matt all have a huge love for the game. Patrick tells about his time playing in both Donegal and Mark and Pat Spillane in New York City, the club's history and rivalries, California and Jersey Shore on TV, and some key questions like Atlantic City or Vegas, and the most important one, are Jersey Shore stars Snooki and JWoww better than Marty and Des? That's next Thursday morning from 9 AM as I continue the journey with 2 slices a week. I'll see you at the Arrivals Hall, but until then, check out the various clubs on the Instagram page and see all the amazing work they do and some of the nicest GA gear going. Find the podcast on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter and on TikTok. Email loafofbreadpod@gmail.com or just simply hit the follow button and spread the word of the Loaf of Bread GA pod across the globe. Slán agaí.